are live. I'm just gonna double check my YouTube that we are actually live. So we'll just give it 2 seconds. Oh,
You got the red bubble.
Yep, there we go. All right. Welcome to Apartment Theater. We have not been here for months, and along with not being here for months, I have now brought one of my best friends, Jesse, aboard to talk about Iron Lung by Markiplier, which I am extremely hyped about. So let's get into that. So if you're any kind of gaming online, you have seen or heard of Markiplier. If not, by being a fan of Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, Crank Gaming, like, you've heard of Markiplier.
Internet royalty.
Honestly, I was just watching a TikTok where somebody was made internet royalty. She, like, bonked somebody out at the water park to get them out of the... Yeah, anyways. So, just imagine loving a game so much that you contact the devs to be like, I want to make a movie of your game. And that is what he did with Iron Lung. So let me read the description of the movie. Iron Lung 2026, because that's the year we're in, is a science fiction horror film directed by YouTuber Markiplier, Mark Fishback. I'm sorry if I say it wrong.
Fishbach.
Fishbach. English and pronunciation is not my first language. Based on the video game of the same name about a convict piloting a submarine through a blood ocean on a desolate moon after an apocalyptic event called The Quiet Rapture, released in January 2026, the film stars Mark as the protagonist, Simon, and has received mixed reviews, praised for its claustrophobic atmosphere, but criticized by some for its slow pace, though it performed well at the box office. So this is my favorite thing, is just the actual film versus audience review and Rotten Tomatoes, because man, did he shake the market. Because if you were following when this film came out, he was number 2 for a very long time on the domestic box office, and then he just poof, disappeared, gone, and which was really disheartening, and everybody just really theorized it as like he's not being distributed by a major studio, and he isn't like these big, like, he isn't Disney, because the only one on top was Disney. But if I remember looking correctly, he is actually now number 1 film, and he's making almost like a gross amount of his budget. His budget was originally a little under 3 million, and globally has made almost 37 million, if not like 38, is around that. So he's making a lot of milestones, and I'm so excited for him. I've been following Mark since like late 2012, I think. So it's been a minute, like since the beginning. You
were in the trenches.
Oh my god, it's so exciting because it's just fun seeing somebody who's not problematic, for one. Just follow through on their dreams. Like, he's always talked about and he's always like done his like little mini projects and everything, and it's just like seeing one of those people you really look up to actually achieve your dreams was really inspiring. Because watching this film, like, yes, it was slow paced, but I feel slow burner films aren't a thing anymore, and everything's just very like in your face, very quick, very snappy, and there's no real suspense. And I think that's why people are also getting like really pissy, but you never know. Rotten Tomatoes like to bitch about everything. He is also number 1 on Rotten Tomato now. I did saw that earlier today.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't look up the Rotten Tomatoes score before.
This is probably one of my. So usually here at Apartment Theater, we really just like watch a movie, and I just shebang, go right into it.
Flashbang reviews.
And I put so much like actual heart and looking up into things with this, and I've been wanting to talk about this since last week. Like, I wanted to do this film the day after I saw it, but then I'm like, I really want to bounce ideas off it, and then I'm like, Jesse saw this film.
I did, in fact. I went with my partner this past weekend, and I honestly wish I could have gone again, but then
It's in the theater still. It got an extended release.
While yes, I intentionally lost a knife fight recently, so I can't drive. So
That's fair, and I can't drive medically.
for context, I had surgery.
Yes.
Nothing big. I had surgery, and I can't drive. So
It'd be like
a knife fight. I didn't actually go out and be like, "Hey, you want to stab me?" Although that would have been a wild way to go.
Honestly, if you told me that, I wouldn't be shocked. And if you did it before the film, you would have been bloodied up.
It would have been
before this.
dramatic.
Yeah, it would have been dramatic.
Yeah, it would
That's
have
what
been
we want.
Oh my gosh, I love and hate the trend because I laughed too hard at it. When people were you know what I'm gonna say, aren't you? Don't you? There's one people on TikTok who were saying that they were on their period when they saw the movie, and they were like, "This is a great 4D experience." And I just could not stop myself from dying.
Oh,
when
God.
I saw that.
Well, I have to say, I didn't experience that. I do have to say that when I was going in, I went with a friend, and I was like, this movie would be so interesting in 4D, and I was saying how I wish we had a 4D theater. So.
Could you imagine going into a theater and seeing that there's a splash zone?
For a movie that uses 80,000 gallons of blood?
I would love that. Coming out of that theater, you would get so many looks, and I would adore it. I would pay so much extra to go to that viewing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wish we were in a more populated area. Honestly, I don't think we have any on the East Coast. I think most of the 4D theaters are in California, because California has all the fun things.
We also have all the money for the fun things. So
This is true. Yeah. Yeah, I thought there was a lot of achievements for this like indie film, because end of the day, even though Markiplier obviously is a YouTube royalty, I think he is around 38 million followers the last time I looked. And so he does have this huge backing, so he does have a lot of advantages with support and on like a movie like this, because the indie like horror films, it is, I mean, it's just generally difficult to make a movie, and I think it's very inspiring that he was able to make this film in a secluded, like just one area. Like, you're not doing a lot of bouncing around areas, like you're in one area. You're also the only what's the word, visual and emotional output for the movie. Like, being that source as somebody who likes to do acting and stuff like that's difficult. A one-man show is very difficult, and we do get some other faces and like other voices. We do get a radiated Jack, which is fun. I'm also a big Jacksepticeye person.
Good old Jack.
Yeah.
Sean, technically. I saw the name in the credits that it was Sean, and I was like, wait a second. No, not actually. Who did I miss? I thought maybe he was one of the voices in like the recording.
Originally, when I was looking up the film prior to seeing it, just to get like an idea who's in it, I saw Sean McLaughlin as voice number 2, I believe he was listed as, but in the actual film, actually, I do have to say, I mean, most people that listen to Apartment Theater, know, spoiler alerts, we talk about it. So if you haven't seen the movie, well, we're about to just really get into the movie. But Sean McLaughlin was in it, and he was listed as voice number 2. So a lot of, like, I thought he was going to be, like, on the speaker or something, which is fun, because he has a very, identifiable voice. But he still has a very identifiable voice when you couldn't see who it was. And he started talking, I'm like, that's Jacksepticeye. He's the welder in the movie, working on the Iron Lung. And this is where Mark accidentally radiates him. And they make callbacks through the whole film too, like asking about like how Jack is, and I love that his character's name was Jack. I think that was very like fun tidbit. It's nice seeing them do stuff together too, because they're both very good in their like, it's just what they do, and I've always enjoyed content with them together, so it was very exciting to see them actually do something together.
Yeah, it has been a while since I've seen more content between the two of them. In fact, I know there was a while where there was an issue that people thought that they were beefing over something happened behind the scenes, something or other, that they were like, why don't you do things together? Why don't I see you interacting on whatever social media platforms, X, Y, and Z? And things of that nature. And so like getting that chance to be like, oh yeah, no, like Mark's just this busy.
Yeah.
But we're actually doing the thing together. That's how close we still are.
It's also that parasocial thing that like people got going on. I know there was a lot of fanfics, unfortunately. And that definitely creates like some awkwardness.
Fanfiction is the blessing of the internet. No.
And it was very like, y'all kind of like ruined it, and but it's just nice to see them like working on something together, because they both want to like go into like things like that. So it was just very exciting, and I hope to see them doing more like movies stuff together. Maybe not content on YouTube again. I understand, like, I mean, they've both been doing it for very long time. So it'd just be nice to like start seeing them like do, even if it's just more like gaming content. Not gaming movie content, which is exciting. And I just love that he got melted. I'm unsure who the lady was who
melted.
I love Jacksepticeye, but I love a good melted Jacksepticeye. You can't say you're friends with somebody until you radiate them. I'm sorry, the ADHD just going. Anyways.
I'm just thinking of you can't be friends with someone until you irradiate them. And I'm just going back to how big of medical messes we are, and how many times we've had to be inadvertently irradiated growing up for like scans and shit like that.
For reference,
I'm here for it wholeheartedly.
Honestly, I think that strengthened our friendship. For reference, we have been friends for...
Don't say the number.
I will say the number. Wait, hold on. I have to remember how old we are. We like 26 years. So like when I say this is one of my best friends, we have been through the trenches together.
Nope, fully parasocial relationship.
That is us. And we irradiate.
Also, I was told apparently you have a bit of an echo on the YouTube side.
Oh, I wonder why. Alright, so let me take a pause for that real quick and figure out why I have an echo. I don't know what could be giving me an echo.
I don't know.
Let's see. The only thing I can think of is if my audio is coming through twice, but I don't know why my audio will come through twice. When I figure out where my Steam Labs went, there it is. My God.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna deafen in Discord and see if I can hear it.
Audio input capture. Audio input capture. Oh, it looks like I have two of them. Oh, that means my audio from yesterday is messed up. Alright, hold on. Let me get rid of this.
Alright, how does it sound now? Does it sound echoey? Echo. I will just say random things until it's fixed. Actually, I'm gonna annoy everybody real quick.
All right. I heard it. It just sounds like you're peaking a little bit, and you're getting like bouncing from the audio of your room. I think it's just turned up a bunch.
Maybe.
It doesn't sound necessarily like an echo. All right.
Unfortunately,
It's not too much to worry about.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is what we got to work with right now, and I appreciate people coming through and letting us know when our mics are like that. A bit quiet, but echo's gone. Okay, I did accidentally, because I'm intelligent, and I had my audio output twice on my Streamlabs. So, because I was going to say, I have a very expensive microphone. I'll be so annoyed if it echoed. But anyways, so we follow the journey. One thing I really, so at this point, we're only like 20 minutes in the movie, and Jack dies. But
dies.
Well, dies. Not really. He was irradiated, and they never really actually did say he was dead. They're just like, you irradiated him, and if you look up what radiation does to you, it's not pretty. So.
And one thing I like is that the captain who's through the actual porthole of the Iron Lung, who's like the standard voice we interact with on the other side of the speaker, like 90% of the time. When you have that irradiation situation, you can see she has this scar and it actually begins to droop. I love that makeup caused it to like droop because it looked like her skin was like in the midst of like sloughing off.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay.
The porthole's really thick and cloudy and there's blood dripping down. I think it was meant to be one of those like you can barely see it, but when you see it, it's a touch that looks really, really attentive to detail.
That's one thing that like is in indie movies that you can appreciate a lot is like the attention to detail, because it's easier to, because the crews are smaller, like you're not working with like 20, 30 like per division or something. You're working with like maybe 5 to 10 people. It's much easier to keep like a quick relationship with like, all right, well, this is looking like this, and those attention to details. Also, most of his friends worked on this film with him, just like any indie movie, and when most of your friends have the same vision for something, it's much easier to keep those details. But yeah, I must have missed that, which is just really nice, honestly. To
rewatchability, that's all it is.
Yeah, that's fine. That gives me another reason to go and go spend money and support Markiplier. That's all I want to do.
Apparently there's going to be a physical release.
Yes, which I will immediately buy. I don't have a DVD player anymore, but I will physically have it.
I think they're going to go Blu-ray, and one thing that I did hear is that a lot of people had an issue with, and I sometimes have issues with like auditory processing, like my ears get overwhelmed and stuff like that, that I thought like maybe it was just me. When I saw it at my local theater, some of the things seemed more muffled than they should have been. Apparently, it has been a thing through a lot of theaters where the audio was not being balanced correctly because they had very specific balancing and leveling that was supposed to be done with the film. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's apparently something that had been happening quite often.
So I saw the movie probably 2 days after you. And I heard everything just fine. So you definitely saw it earlier release, and they might have been like, that might have been a thing, and they were like fixing the audio and stuff by the second movie. Because I heard everything just fine. Nothing sounded muffled, unless it was meant to sound muffled.
Yeah.
But one thing I really enjoy about this movie is you can feel Simon going insane, and like and the realization of when he wasn't the first guy to go down into this blood ocean. He was like the 8th or something, or I think it was 8. No, 10th, because he found 8.
So, in the movie, in the movie and in the game, the Iron Lung is SM-13 submachine gun. Jesus, submarine.
Interesting submachine gun.
It's an interesting choice. Just as deadly though, apparently. SM-13, so we can infer submarine 13. And we can infer that because we find we've entered spoiler
big spoiler,
fully spoilery session of the podcast at this point. Submarine 13, we find submarine 8 down at the bottom of the blood ocean. We can infer that all 13 have most likely been at this blood moon in particular, because there's a number of them.
Yeah.
I think that's a fairly like reasonable inference to make. So he is the 13th. I'm curious in the sense that I don't think there were only 13 expeditions, in the sense that we find a note inside of SM-13 from what is supposed to be the prior operator of the submarine, who chooses to die at the bottom of the ocean, as we find out later in the film due to some notes. So there may have been, for different submarines, there were still multiple crews or expeditions or anything of the sort. So for all we know, there could have been SM-1 and they might have been 7 different teams that went down. I do know that early on in the SM days, that they did not just have one operator, and they were not just for convicts. I believe Iron Lung SM-13 is the only one that is specifically as part of the program for criminals, that is part of the quote unquote, according to some of the lore, conviction realization program. And so early on, there were teams of 2 that used to go down, 1 pilot and 1 scientist that went down with each submarine expedition. And I think that the Iron Lung is the only one that was part of that convict program. So there were estimated to be 12 other expedition teams that went into this blood ocean, probably. It doesn't give us a solid answer on that, though that's kind of the inference we can make on that. What do you think on it?
I would probably say that's right. So, I'm going to go into... So, as I said earlier, I have been following Markiplier for a very, very long time. So, Iron Lung was one of the few series that I didn't watch thoroughly through. So I ended up watching it afterwards because I was like, well, now I have to go and actually watch like that. And look, I just really like watching his Hoonie Pop playthrough. Anyways. So
oh my gosh.
It's just so funny. Anyways.
I never thought the reference to Hoonie Pop would come into a horror movie review and conversation.
Of course it would. Obviously, it is the other kind of horror movie.
Obviously.
But so I ended up watching that playthrough, which was fun to actually see like him develop the love for the game and enjoy the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started watching the lore for it. I didn't get to fully watch the lore video that came out afterwards.
Okay.
I think it wasn't too far after like the game. Like it had like a bunch of updates and stuff in it, so we replayed it. And so I believe some of what you're talking about is in that lore most likely. So I'm going to agree with you because I haven't thoroughly watched that video. I like the idea because it does make sense in a apocalyptic culture that you would want to use what your society is deeming least useful to the society that you're trying to build to in dangerous expeditions, especially if they're intelligent convicts and stuff. Especially just being like, well, we'll set you free, and that's what you're saying the whole time, but that is not what's going to happen. I do feel, because there was a lot of like hindsight. So throughout the movie, you will get flashbacks to what he kind of did, and they're all blaming him for this explosion that wasn't his fault, and which like always sucks when you get blamed for something that you did not do.
Correct.
But
especially when it's terrorism.
Yeah, that's a hard one to try to escape.
Yeah.
But I really think this would have done well as a like series. Like, be it only like 8 or 12 episodes, like not like a huge series. It's something Amazon probably would pick up like easily, just because like Amazon's got this new hot commodity to pick up YouTube things, as we see with like Hazman Hotel and like Hello the Boss. It would have been like easy because like he created such an interesting thing that I wanted to see more of. Like I wanted to know that background, like because we got like maybe a collective like 6 minutes of what that was, and it looked so interesting. Like the home, like, well, not the home tree, the tree that was like supposed to be like the last living tree or in existence, and like it would have been really cool to get more information on that, because it probably would have helped me be like, well, Simon, maybe you do deserve this. And like so I think this would have done I think it did phenomenal as a movie. Like I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I would have loved like a series, just because like he put so much interesting things in this movie that I would have loved to like deep dive into it more. Being you able to do that with hour-long films, of course, then we're talking about like longer production time, and he had a very stressful production time with this movie in general, and it was a stressful 3 years. Sending him to the ER a lot, like when he got blood in the eye, which it's very like interesting to like see. Like I remember watching the video of he was just like, I think he was just talking, like I don't think he was doing anything, and he had red in his eyes, and he was just like, he posted about like, oh, I was in the ER over the weekend, and at this point in time he wasn't talking about what he was working on yet, and he just said like a project that they're working on. And so like when you actually got to see it happen in the film, because I was like curious, and I'm like, how does he get blood in his eye? And then when it just like splat across his face, I'm like, I know this scene. Which definitely sucks. That would definitely be horrible, because fake blood is a awful consistency.
It's so viscous that like you'd have to get like a full-on eye wash to be able to get it out. So like,
yeah,
ugh.
And it stains so bad, because of how like to get like the proper blood color, like they have to put a lot of like dye in it. And my god, when I do like special effects makeup, I love and hate, because I love that finishing touch of like adding on fake blood, but I also hate it because it stains my face, and then I go to work and I have like these red blotches everywhere. It's just ironic to see because like when he slowly starts going more and more insane as he like hits lower depths. Well, I shouldn't say insane. I should say like hallucinating because like he starts like hallucinating, and those hallucinations like were and I wouldn't say they weren't scary, but they did like catch me at moments, and I love that. Because like there's such this big trope now of when like same scenes, like let's say like Insidious, because Insidious had scenes like this. They would like do a loud noise and a loud jump and like to try to get you like really like freaked out, and there was nothing added to this. It was just like he saw something out of the corner of his eye, or eventually see somebody sitting in his chair, and I enjoyed that for like not in our face loud music, because again it's like a sensory thing. And like I've watched over 250 films at this point, and like it's such an annoying trope to constantly see in horror movies. It's an easy trope, like super easy, but it's such an annoying one to see when you're watching a film that is like, and I think suspense like that is much scarier than if he like were to add it. Like I think I would have been annoyed. I think if like he added that, I'd be like, oh, you're better than that, Mark, come on. I think it was a smart decision to not really add those like loud noises whenever he like would start hallucinating. And seeing that 80,000 gallons of blood that I thought was gonna be like where he got it, but man.
The idea that in a movie that runs for like, I think the final runtime is like 2 hours and 6 minutes. The fact that you see like 90% of that blood content of 80,000 gallons is in the last like 20 minutes is fucking wild.
Yeah, and oh, hold on, I'm just replying to somebody on the video. After you get it the first time. Sorry. But I like if this is correct, this is what I heard like through like hearsay. I didn't hear it through Mark, so I can't say this is actual production value worth movie. That they like pretty much developed a car wash and just was just like, instead of water, let's have blood.
I remember watching the live because I was actually in his live that day that he had the red eyes after he had the ejection into his eyes. Apparently they had put blood into power washers.
Hell yeah.
To be able to get the effect that they wanted with the level of pressure. Which I think is number one, amazing. Number two, terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing is just like terrifying, especially if you're claustrophobic.
Oh yeah. And that's another thing. We were talking about you were talking about just a second ago about them kind of avoiding like the jump scary sort of approach at horror. And I think the setting alludes itself to adding that sense of dread, but a quiet dread. It almost treats the silence, and I hate to say this as like the this is the posh, like critically observationalist, but like it treats the silence almost as another character in the sense that it makes you listen for what the silence is saying and for what those little creaks. So instead of having a jump scare where it's a loud noise, all of a sudden you would hear that subtle creak out of the silence. And that in and of itself would kind of ramp up almost as much as if it were a loud bang. Because the point of this type of horror is to build that dread, which I think is also, I don't want to say it points to one of the movies movie's downfalls, but one of the parts that does make it feel like it drags in the beginning.
Yeah, it does. Like, if I take Markiplier like out of this, like just like supporting Markiplier, and it's just like a film I wanted to see, I would have had a hard time like really getting first, like before things really started like getting, because it has such a like long, like slow drag to it, which like some films do. And even the game itself did have like a like that slow drag to it as well when you're first like learning the game. I do like agree. There's just like some things that could have been cut out and not make a difference, and it still be just successful as it is, without doing anything. Like, so I can agree with that. Like, you could have probably cut like 20 minutes out and it be just as successful, just as fine, like no real like issues. Will I still sit there for 2 hours to watch a Markiplier film? Yes, I will. But
Obviously. But taking the bias out of it, I think there could have been some maybe that got cut, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like with the type of horror he went with, even though it does provide the dragging, I feel like the dragging is necessary. I feel like that's a necessary evil. So when the film does ramp up at the end, it's like you're going from a dead zero all the way up. It's like shooting up.
yeah.
Uh
Well, it gets into those slow burner films that just aren't
yeah.
a thing anymore. Like, slow burner films aren't around anymore. It's not a genre that's like as popular. Like I said, like a little bit ago, that's just the quick like pow pow pow, like keychain keychain keychain, like to keep like attention. Like, oh, this is happening, this is
Mhm.
happening. Slow burner films were much more popular. I'd probably say late 90s, early 2000s. That's like their real like era. And like past that, like now people want a quick film to watch. That's like one of the issues with I mean, this isn't a horror film, but like it still has like a length issue, the Avatar films of
Mhm.
like, and it just constantly is like in your face, constantly doing things, but it has to do that to like, because that's how films are nowadays, is like you constantly have to be packed. And don't get me wrong, I love a good slow burner film, but it really like depends. And I think it was successful
Mhm.
in its own right. Like, I think Iron Lung was successful as like the slow burner film that I'm assuming he was shooting for, because I mean, let's like watching his stuff like for like so long, let's be honest that he knows what he's doing. Like, this is all very intentional. Like, I know this wasn't just like film and then put it together. Like, he definitely like thought it out, and this is like, it's definitely all like intentional how he thought to do things. And that's why, like, as a slow burner film, like, I know this can be considered one, because this is most likely what he attended was a slow burner Iron Lung. And I just also I just find it so exciting, like, that you've loved something so much that you can like just go make a film about it, and also do it right. So like big names like Amazon, Hulu, this is how you make a video game into a movie or a show. um,
Yep.
they're making Baldur's Gate. Not sure about that one. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I do have to say, I'm currently watching through the Fallout series, and I do have to say, as a lover of Fallout, that it does the series very well through Amazon.
Yeah, Cass said that. Cass is a big Fallout person.
I do think that the psychological horror and the sort of like paranoia being its own thing in this movie is probably what makes it a key way to make this work without it being sort of like a fumbling movie. Because if you make it a fumbling movie where it's just sound after sound after sound, everything eventually is like, okay, this is falling into this, is falling into this, is falling into this. So yeah, that like that those silences and that slow burn is kind of the tone is what makes it. Um, I do want to say that the couple of things that are seen as like stimuli for those noises and stimuli for the horror aspect is probably the entity, which is kind of the dubbed name for whatever is in the blood ocean, that so many people are like guessing at like details about it that aren't really described in lore or in the games or in this nature. A lot of people are debating whether or not we see the entities, the entity of the skeleton,
Yeah.
quite early on. I'd say probably like what, 45 minutes in is the first view we have of it.
Some kind of view that we have is about 45 minutes when he sees it, and then like
Mhm.
I say about like hour and a half, where like it's towards the end of the film when that thing really just flew in, and like
Mhm.
my other like thing about this is everything is so practical instead of CGI. Like, I mean, of course, there's things that you have to
Yes.
have CGI. Like, it's just how it has to be. But like to go mostly practical with everything is so exciting because everything is
Mhm.
CGI nowadays. So as a practical like special effects person, like it's nice to like see that stuff.
Correct.
But also, I just like why do you want to explore like a blood ocean that has no bottom, nothing? Like, okay, so there has to be a bottom. Like, I understand, like, in the contents of the actual thing, it's just like there's no real bottom. It's just like blood, and it's kind of shifting. But like, there has to be a bottom. like,
There
there has to be a part where you dig into like the planet, like, right?
and it correct. There's got to be gravity doesn't work that way where there would be nothing. One thing in the sense of the semantics that I actually wanted to talk about is, and I hate to pull this back, because I do really want to say that the whole conversation about a lot of the details, this I feel like this film does ask you to do a lot of suspension of disbelief because there's so much going on in this post-apocalyptic universe that we can't account for. Like there's no bottom on this planet. Well, we haven't been able to find it because we've only had what, 13 submarines worth of
Deaths.
expeditions down there to find. Well, yeah, of deaths as well. But to find out what's down there. So they're very well. I think I don't remember when they don't say it's a bottom. I think when they reference that they don't know where the bottom is, it's more of a it's so ambiguous that we're trying to map it to try and find out. It's like trying to put the walls on a puzzle before you get started on the middle.
That's also like it goes into what you're saying earlier of how many like actual expeditions there has to be, because he had a pre-existing map that he added onto it, and it's like,
Mhm.
so how many people like somebody had to come back to give that map, like
Mhm.
they
had a set of coordinates for where each of the things had to be like marked at and such like that.
I do like when he finds like the submarine like 8, and then you find out like it also it when he starts hearing somebody else's voice, it makes you like, and it starts to make you like, at this point he's been hallucinating, so is this real or is that a ghostly voice, like because it
Mhm.
starts arguing, or was it the monster's voice, because it's just like one of those like, maybe it's just a monster, like it draws its prey in by making it go into psychosis, and like when the prey isn't listening, it's just like, no, listen. Excuse me.
So can I go into a rant? Can I
Yeah,
rant?
always.
I have a hot take. Uh maybe not a hot take, but it's a theory that's just sounds fucking bonkers. Um, and it's that uh, we hear two voices on the recording from SM8.
Yes.
I have a feeling that that was true because we find out that there were in fact two bodies on the SM8 via the information from the terminal. Side note, one quick tangent. The terminal not being introduced until later in the movie, I feel is a great reference to the fact that when Iron Lung originally dropped, it did not have the terminal. The terminal did not exist in the game. The terminal came during the lore update for the game. So the fact that when he first went down and he first went diving in the Iron Lung and he didn't have access to the terminal, and then when he went down a second time, oh yeah, the terminal's here. I think that was like a great like Easter egg of, oh yeah, no, the terminal wasn't here at first. It was just dropped later. In like the meta of the universe of Iron Lung.
Yeah.
Number two. Okay, so the bonkers theory. So the entity, we see it as this in the movie, we see the entity almost as this like blast of light, but then we see it in this like giant Lovecraftian being in this like extra planar space during that like plane of blood sort of hallucination or projection that Simon goes through. But in the game, the quote unquote entity that is supposedly the Lovecraftian creature involved with all of this is seen almost as like a prismatic star, a like viscous prismatic star inside of the blood ocean as one of the POIs in the game. And it causes hallucinations or visual disruption in the game when you approach it. I have a theory that the two people who were on the SM8, because the early launches of the submarines they did not have convicts, they had a pilot and a scientist.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the reasons why they were so determined on getting the black box back, because now they're sending convicts, they're not sending professionals. So they wanted the information from the professionals that they lost. I have a theory that the two people who were on the SM8 eventually evolved to be two of the creatures we exhibit in the blood ocean. Because in the blood ocean, we see two things. We see the giant skeleton. It almost appears like a flat-topped fish with sort of eyes mounted atop. There's debate whether or not it has flesh or not. I could go into the matter of X-ray technology and like what you actually see and what you don't see. I feel whether or not it has flesh is kind of neither here nor there. But we also see an eye that comes across the camera. That when you see the eye, it does not look anything like what an eye would look like coming from the skeleton creature that we see along the floor that moves. I have a theory that the two creatures we see are the two bodies that were inside of the SM8.
I like that idea because towards the end, when Simon's submarine is being filled with blood, and you see that he starts changing, getting these like things on his face, and like he starts like just morphing. He loses his arm because it's stuck to something. It makes sense, like blood, like if the blood could change you. Of course, we don't have any like background from the series. Like I'm sure they've done those kind of experiments, but it's probably more classified experiments because let's be real, if you find out that you're going into an ocean that could change you, convicts would probably also be like, I'd rather be in a jail cell.
I would rather be in a jail cell too, Simon. Don't worry about it.
So I can agree, and there's like stuff like in the film that could back that as a possibility. So I'm here for that. I like that. I like that idea. Let's ship it over to the like developers and be like, hey,
Okay, I'm gonna loop back. You were saying about Amazon picking up because you want to know more information. Hear me out. Amazon, you pick up from David Zemansky, who's the original creator of the Iron Lung series. Uh, you pick it up and you make one episode for each of the submarines.
I like that. Like,
And then the finale for the first season is going to be
after Simon dies.
Eden. No, Eden and Filament. So the entire series is a lead up to when SM-13 hits the water with Simon in it.
Yeah.
Because Filament Station is the station that was blown up when Simon was arrested for blowing up Filament Station. That's the station that they refer to. Filament Station was in a 9-day battle, and then those of Eden ended up. I think it was those of Eden. Maybe I might have the sides wrong, but eventually caused the reactor to overload, and everyone on the station died of radiation poisoning.
Fun way to go.
Right? Side note, I also have a theory. That's why the Iron Lung is what it is. Because I feel like there's also the possibility that Simon is slowly dying of radiation poisoning. And the reason they're called convict realization instead of convict rehabilitation is because it is their way of getting out some benefit of just sending a convict to an elongated and more painful end that correlates to the crime they committed.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you
here for that.
realize why you're a
I would
convict.
watch that. Like I'd be here for that.
I feel like it's got premise, and Mark's already been part of a program that has run on Amazon. You got the connections. That's all I'm saying.
Amazon loves putting their names on things. So like
It's true.
if Markiplier being as big as Markiplier is and making so many milestones in like the cinematic universe right now, they would be like, yeah, whatever you want to do, bud. So
Listen, you made just in your first 2 weekends, you made like 13 times your original budget. Soar, let's do it your way.
yeah, are you telling me that a money-hungry corporation doesn't want to make money?
No, perish the thought.
Like, cause I don't know if Mark's follower count has gone up since the release of Iron Lung. I wasn't paying attention or anything like that.
Now I'm gonna look it up because I got a magic box to do so.
Hell yeah. In which case, it would bring in more theater. I mean, like, you'd be surprised, or I guess you wouldn't be surprised. So, like, I work with probably like a wide range of ages, and I do work with newer teenagers. And I have mentioned Markiplier before, and like, cause they'll ask me about like movies and stuff, cause they know I do like podcasts and whatnot, and they'll be like, "Oh, are you doing or what film are you doing next?" And I'll mention, "Oh yeah, by Markiplier," and they'll be like, "Who?" And I'm like, "He's a YouTuber," and they'll be like, "Who?" So it's definitely our generation that like grew up with him. I don't think he's like, I think like the younger kids that watch him are probably like children of like people that grew up with him. But I don't know. The man deserves everything. He's a good
He
human.
does in fact deserve everything.
His mom is entertaining. I love watching like his mom wrote a book. Go read her book. Like she it's apparently a very good book. I have yet to grab it. I will probably eventually grab it to read it. Just in support of Markiplier's mom, who loves her son very much. It's very nice seeing all the love. And support. Like, she posts... I love it. So I follow her on Instagram, and she's been posting, like, pictures with Mark's fans at Iron Lung. She, like, goes every day to go see it, and I'm like, his mom is great.
That's a good mom.
Yeah. She, and then she wrote a book about her son, and you know what? Hell, do it. do it up. I'm excited. I will eventually probably read it. I will get there. I got a lot of
Eventually.
books to read, but I will get there. There's just like a lot. Like, it's nice to see an indie film shake up the Hollywood expectations, because like I just seeing after all of this, like the aftermath of all of this, and prior to this, just exciting watching Markiplier do stuff and whatnot, and then the aftermath that he's caused on the like they're so mad, like they don't want to give him Grammys, like there's stuff like the movie stuff that just he should technically get Grammys for, because he's made like milestones or like hit #1, like technically he should be up for a Grammy nomination.
Grammys, music, Oscars are what you're looking for.
Yeah. Like he should be up for stuff. But because he's an indie film, they're just like, no, he's an indie film. He's not allowed me. They're so mad about it. I love watching people get so upset when like it's not like their norm, and it's exciting because I think this is gonna open up a big way for indie films to come back, because I mean indie horror again was a big thing like early 90s or late 90s, early 2000s, like even like 2010s. There's some indie films that like come in and they're really fun, and I want them to like get attention. Like there's this one I'm pretty positive it was a college horror film. Like the production value wasn't great, there wasn't a lot in it, but it is like one of the best videos I've ever seen, and it's called Killer Pinata. And I want to see indie films like this again, and I think Markiplier really paved a path for indie films to come back, and I'm excited to see the big hole in the wall that he made, who's gonna walk out of it, because there's like people are getting inspired, which is great. Like I have a lot of like people that are saying that they're inspired now, they want to go do stuff. So he inspired a lot of people with this film. He he just made a lot of milestones for indie movies. People need to understand though, he did have a base prior to this, so like it's not like he started clean. And but even then, like with or without that, like he still made a lot of milestones. And I'm excited to see, for one, what he's gonna do next. I know he's probably gonna like talk about something like eventually once like all the stuff, because I know he's been talking about blood drives a lot, which is so cool. Like how cool is that? Like a movie about blood, and now because we're going into a blood crisis, he's just like, let's do a blood drive for the movie and donate blood. So now there's a bunch of blood drives, which is so cool. Like that's so cool. Marketing, perfect. Perfect marketing.
Speaking of marketing, I remember seeing on I think it was TikTok, maybe it was Instagram. One movie theater did like a full stand from the inside of the SM13, including the porthole,
I saw that,
with the console, and I thought that was amazing. Whoever made that needs a raise. Needs 12 raises.
I watched a TikTok of them making it, but I then like I didn't see anything else, and then I finally saw the final one like a couple days ago, and it looks great. I also love like this is backtracking a lot, but how accurate the inside of the Iron Lung is to the actual like game. Like if the game were to like instead of being like push buttons like go up, go down and whatnot, it was like turning wheels whatever
valves and such.
Yeah, there we go. But otherwise it's relatively identical, and I love that. Take notes, big corporations. Like if you want to make movies about games, keep that shit accurate. Because
One thing I will say that seemed uh it it's a nitpicky thing. Um I just thought it was funny was the keyboard that the console used in the back.
Yeah.
Uh you could just tell it was just a modern keyboard shoved into a platform.
And I love that. Yo, as a
And like
cosplayer, like seeing all this stuff, I know how they made
mhm.
everything.
And it's when you're on a budget, you're on a budget. Like 3 million sounds like a lot, but when you're talking about a full
Film?
motion picture
Yeah.
from start to finish, 3 million is nothing.
Yeah.
And you were saying about him having a platform and such, like, don't get me wrong, and I mean this to no affront to Mark whatsoever. He is very privileged is the wrong word, but his start for making the film
Lucky.
offered him a lot of privilege and leeway that he had to produce it
Yes.
and produce it off of himself. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean that privilege as in he didn't work for what he earned,
Yep.
because he did with his YouTube channel. Like he made all of this possible.
Yeah, plausible. Yeah, and like, uh, that's I agree like 100% with that. Like this is like nothing against him. Like he deserves every bit that he's gotten because he's
Mhm.
worked extremely hard for everything. Um and you can see he's very thankful in all of his videos. Like when he starts crying, it breaks my heart. I'm just like, oh, you deserve
Oh
it,
yeah,
man.
I saw the live he did. That was like, I think he only titled it like town hall meeting or something, or we have to meet now or something like that. And he was just on there and he read like one of the early reviews from a reviewer he like values the input of.
Yeah.
He was just, oh, he was about to break down and bawl the entire like hour and a half long
Oh,
live.
when he
It
like
was
he
so
saw
sweet.
like his film was sold out in his hometown too, and like everything.
Hmm.
You can see like he isn't just doing this for the view. He's doing this because he loves it, and that's what I
Yes.
appreciate most of like a content creator. But like again, like he is very lucky. Like he pretty much didn't have to pay for any marketing really, or like very minuscule marketing because he has that big platform
Hmm.
to just be able, hey, go see my movie. And like not just his platform, his friends who have millions of followers
Hmm.
also spoke about it. So like um, PR didn't have to really pay too much, which people, I mean, like most of like their yeah, maybe a movie was 20 million to make, but then they put another 10 million to send the cast around and like do all that like
PR
all that
tours,
stuff. Yeah,
everything
so
like
like
that.
he definitely got to save money in that aspect. But he still deserves it. Not diminish, like you said, not to diminish in anything. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
worked absolutely hard for it and got where he got because like he worked hard and like put tears, blood, and sweat into everything. Um,
Hmm.
so like it's exciting. It's exciting seeing somebody that you admire and look up to do something like that, especially when it's something you like want to do. Like maybe not make movies. I probably wouldn't be great at making movies. Um, but I would want to act. Like I like acting or even voice acting. So it's fun. Like it's very inspiring to see that, and it's just like, and it got me to start doing like my YouTube stuff again because I enjoy it. So,
Hmm.
um, that's one thing I
Here's
hope.
the kick in the ass.
Yeah, I really hope like I mean I'm sure he does realize the impact that he has. Like I'm sure he does realize it, but I really hope Mark realizes the impact that he has made with this movie and his fans and the amount of people that are so inspired to do things again and get back to things and do what they want to do because of him. So I really hope he knows that. Like I'm sure he does. But Mark, if you ever see this, you are inspiring. And thank you for doing this stuff because you really like well, you made it possible. You deserve everything,
You
man.
open doors, You you went in and came out on the other side with
A lot of blood.
the exact epitome of what a passion project should evolve to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And people saw it and the passion you had for it. And that was the important thing. And they jumped at the opportunity to go and see it and support. And it isn't even just a passion project in how it evolved, it is a high quality, positive, and entertaining outcome in the sense of like all you set out to do, it ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
And I know he had mentioned like all of those things, like the small imperfections that he sees more than anyone else. As someone in a creation space, it you always see it, and it's always disheartening. So putting all of that work in, it must be so anxiety inducing to go through all of that just to be uncertain on the other side. And I'm so glad he's getting the positive recognition that he is getting to make him feel like it's worth it, because it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth, and I mean, he's seeing that with like, oh gosh, excuse me, I'm so burpy. I'm so sorry. Um, he's getting that, especially like
It's
Rotten
just the
Tomatoes.
bends from the submarine.
It'd be like that sometimes. He's getting I forget the term on Rotten Tomato, like qualified hit or like number, like he's got like yeah, some kind of like hit thing on his title. 90% from the audience review. The critic review is like 50%, but that's because they don't know what they're watching, because it's just like, it turns back to what I was saying, like all these like critics, like they all like are like slow pace, slow pace. A lot of them mention how slow it is, and it's just like, but that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like also I think they're just salty that a YouTuber did it, and unfortunately there is a lot of bad blood with some YouTubers, and like so people are just like, oh, YouTube, me, when it's just like that's not the
Exactly
case.
80,000 gallons of it. No.
But
No, it is one of those like I had said earlier, it is one of the downsides, but it's the downside that comes with that entire genre. Like it just is what it is. And you were saying about how there's a lot of fast-paced jump scare, keep attention style movies that are the popular thing right now. So critics are going to look for what they're expecting.
yeah.
And so if they go into a Chinese restaurant and order chicken parmesan, they're gonna be disappointed regardless.
Yeah.
So that's just is what it is. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations of, don't get me wrong, a lot of reviewers have pointed out some like flaws and issues with it, and they're valid concerns and valid opinions and observations about it. But when it comes to the sort of the industry observation as a whole, I don't put as much of a bearing on it as I do the response from the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I definitely like, there's a lot of times where I'll watch a movie and like I'll go into I get so mad at John about this because like I'll get John to like try to watch a movie and he'll look up the reviews and he'll see the bad reviews and I'm like, oh my god, those are critic reviews. Like critic reviews are horrible. And, like half the time when you actually watch the movie, it's a good movie. So um
Here's the thing. As someone who loves bad movies,
yeah.
because here's like, you can enjoy something massively and it not be something that will win a ton of awards, because enjoyment and quality don't always go hand in hand. We all have these aspects we enjoy. I This is my one example that I give to anyone. I like kitschy old horror movies,
Yeah.
such as one of my favorites is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Such a classic.
The practical effects, some of them are great, some of them are just fucking, what am I looking at right now? Some of the sort of suspense and horror it just feels laughable, but I will enjoy that view every single time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of those situations of, you can look at critic reviews, but if you're looking for someone else to, and I hate to say this on a podcast where we're talking about a movie for other people to listen to us talk about a movie.
We're
If you
contradicting.
listen to someone else describe everything that is wrong and right with a movie before forming your own opinion to the movie, you've already lost.
And that's one thing, like, we always say at the end of our, like, whenever our outro, like, we do our outro, we tell people, go watch the movie and make an opinion for yourself. And that's one thing, like, I always like that me, Cass, and Justin will watch, because we all have drastically different opinions on horror movies. And so, like, we have these, like, different views, like, as we, like, so you might agree with one of us, or, like, just go watch the movie, make the opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was, like, one or two movies that were, like, don't watch this. Just don't watch this.
Just don't. Promise you.
Like, we're doing something for you. But, like, that just goes into, like, one of those things of, like, even video games. Like, since we're, like, talking about, like, a gaming YouTuber, like, in horror, like, just because, like, maybe you'll watch, like, your favorite YouTuber not really maybe enjoy the game, but if you watch, like, a different YouTuber play the same game, thoroughly enjoy it, but go play the game and make it yourself. Like, there's such a different, like, when you're able to form the opinion, and then it, like, forms fun conversation topics, because I love to talk about, like, I mean, obviously I have a podcast where I love to talk about movies. So, like, when somebody watched the same movie and then they have a different view, like, I want to hear your view. Like, why did you think that? Like, what about that did you like? Like, it also creates, like, a community. You're able to, like, connect with other people. So, like, it's difficult to go spend money to see movies. I get it. Don't support pirates. I know this is pirated right now because I keep seeing people post it. Don't support the pirates. Support Markiplier. Go spend $12. Go on a Tuesday when it's $6. I know most theaters do those.
Here's the thing. Normally, I would say, if it's a big corporation, just straight up, hi-ho, off to work you go. That's fine. Although that's dwarves, not pirates. You know what I mean.
Whatever. Close enough, I guess.
But because this is an indie passion project, go support the original release.
Exactly.
Fully, it's like robbing from Walmart. Like, if you do it from Walmart, I don't care. If you do it from a mom and pop shop, you're an asshole. It's
exactly. It's just don't exactly that. I can't, like, alright, like, that's perfectly said. Like,
but yeah, I fully support going in and experiencing the original release, or if they do end up putting it on Blu-ray, I highly support going and checking out the Blu-ray, because I imagine that is going to be wonderful to see on a Blu-ray release. And I hope they drop merch soon, because like Markiplier specifically himself drops merch soon, because I know that there are some people or some stores and such already jumping on the boat or on the bandwagon and doing. I know, like, Hot Topic has releases, but I don't think that Mark ever talked about doing any sort of, like, product release stuff. So
yeah,
which is its own kind of cringy situation, but that's
he's
beside
never
the point.
Seemed to he just wants to, like, give to people, like, the popcorn bucket. Let me tell you what, as somebody who collects popcorn buckets,
did you print it?
I don't have a 3D printer.
Okay, that's fair. I don't either. So,
and I went to go, like, buy it because, like, you can buy it from Regal, but, like,
okay,
I don't know how much Mark is actually getting from that. and I only because it's like
Fair.
$45, and if I wouldn't mind purchasing that if I knew some of that proceeds, because like obviously I know like it has to go for like product and like stuff like that. As long as I
Yeah.
know some of it's going back to Mark, fine, I'll spend the 45. I don't really give a damn. But if I don't know that it's actually going back to him, especially when he was just like, here guys, have a 3D file, because I saw him talking to Bob and oh god, I can't think of
Wade.
Wade, there we go. I do this so much to Wade, and I like Wade. I think Wade's very funny. But when he was talking to Bob and Wade on their podcast about it, he was just like, look what we're kind of doing, and it's gonna be a free file for people, and then it was, which is really cool. I'm just really broke, and I have no space in my space.
Fair. Very fair. You see the clutter. It's fine.
Yeah, no, we don't want to see it. So.
I have some room back here somewhere that's currently being taken up by.
Yeah, so like they are selling the bucket, but I can't convince myself to spend that unless I know some of it's going back to a Markiplier, and I don't know that until he says something like, yeah, go buy it there too. Like he hasn't. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
He has been saying like. I'm sure he would have been like, guys, like maybe like don't like. I'm sure he would have said something about it. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Until I get actual confirmation, I'll just wait. And the only person I knew who had a 3D printer I don't talk to anymore. So I can't even be like.
I know that story.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oof. Oof,
but-
magoof, Scoob.
But so it's also like cool that he like released that like as a free file for people. So I'm sure somebody's gonna try to make money off it though. I'm sure somewhere on Etsy people are like, I'll print this for you. Like, but like as long as they're I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic.
Because it's such a passion project, you got to make sure that the passion's going the right way instead of just to line the pockets of people who are taking advantage of it.
I
get it.
Love though to see Mark go to, so being that I go to Comic-Cons a lot too, I would love to see him go to a Comic-Con and like talk about like this film and stuff, like just like also like maybe a meet and greet again. I get it, he's got no time, I understand, it's not like I like coming from an adult life who's doing much less than him. And I still find it hard to find time.
Yeah.
I would love to like just to like be able to ask more questions. Fun fact, I actually did email him about an interview specifically on Iron Lung. Will that ever occur? No, because it's not like I'm a big named podcast or anything. But like it's there. It's out in the universe. If you want to see him on this podcast, guys, comment.
Mark in the comments.
Mark, go on.
Get in the comments.
Go on this No Name Con podcast. I promise it would just be about the movie. I just want to pick his brain about the movie. Like, I would love to just be able to have that opportunity, but I doubt it.
Also, can I just say, the Foley for this movie, I know the sound design was muffled and some of the stuff wasn't balanced correctly at certain areas. The Foley for this movie, for some of the close shots that they did, was so good.
Oh yeah, everything was so good. Like the camera angles were great. Everything had a purpose, and I love that. Like Mark's acting phenomenal. Like obviously it's not like it was like Heath Ledger kind of like acting, like somebody who does this like as like a
rest in peace.
Yeah, God, I love Heath Ledger. Honestly, phenomenal actor. That's why I pinpointed him. He was the first name I could also think of off the top of my head. But like obviously he's not like gonna be as good as somebody who like does it as a like career and that's how they make his money, but he still did fantastic being like the sole viewpoint and acting, getting the emotion across, actually like getting the like grief across, like upset, like feeling like I just want out of here. Like he did great. Like I think this was very successful, and I cannot wait to see more, because I'm excited to see what Digital Passion Project. He should make his own like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I understand they have their own like series right now, but like I would love to just see him because he didn't get premiered in it.
That's fair. That's fair. Unironically, I've never consumed any Five Nights at Freddy's product or entertainment at all. Like, no Let's Plays, no playing any of the games.
I want to play the game specifically because of Mark, but I've only ever thoroughly watched through one of his playthroughs of Five Nights at Freddy. He's got so many.
Very fair.
And it was just like the one where you're like friends with the Freddy bot, whatever the one that is. And then I don't know, I'll watch the funny highlights that like when there was a button, like if you press the button, it was just like, I know when your birthday is. And then,
Poppy's Playtime.
Yeah, that one. That's the one I watched.
Yep.
I don't even think that's Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's not.
It's not.
It's definitely not.
Look, sometimes things just grow together. But anyways,
there's a nosh. It's fine.
I think so. Originally, I wanted to go into this for like 30 minutes, and I'm pretty sure it's been an hour.
Let me. Hour and 21 minutes.
Yeah. It's worth it though. Like honestly, we'll leave it we'll leave it at that. Like it's worth the watch. Go support like indie. Like always support indie horror movies. Big corporations. That's fine. Pirate that. I don't care. I don't support that. I don't condone
Steal from
that.
Walmart.
Actually,
That's fine. I'm gonna look the other way.
We don't condone that.
No, I'm just kidding.
We
Yes, we don't condone that.
Yes.
I'm seriously joking. Only do it in Minecraft. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Check out the film. Make your own opinions of it. I think you'd be able to still comment on this. Like, I don't do anything with my life. I'm here for comments. So we did have somebody like talking throughout the whole thing too. Like come back, go watch it. Come back, talk to us about it. I don't know. Go to Mark's videos and say, hey, this random small podcast you should go talk about Iron Lung on. Because I want to pick his brain. I sent him like the questionnaire too. That is just like it's clearly just about the movie. I ain't trying to juke you. But make your own opinions of the movie. Come back, talk on this video. This will be on our normal like ways to listen to it. If not tonight, by tomorrow. This is definitely one of our longer episodes. If you stayed through this long, thank you for listening. Hit subscribe, follow. Go follow Jesse on his own channel, Jess of All Trades. This is on my main channel right now, Cuddly Macaroon. Just because I don't have the login to Apartment Theater, Cass does. So,
oops.
I forgot it, okay? It's not even like I don't have it. I just literally forgot it, and I'm probably the one that made the password. So... But this is on my main channel. I'm so
proud of you.
Oh, God, I'm doing so good for myself.
You're doing so good, sweetie.
But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking for a whole hour and 20 minutes if you have. Really appreciate you. And get the fuck out. Yeah, by the way.